SEC Tournament quarterfinals today, Missouri versus Florida. And we got two semifinal games we're going to talk about, one on ESPN as well. Arizona versus Texas Tech and Clemson versus Louisville. Wealth Michaels will tell you exactly how to make money in all three of those games. After him, we got Andy Lang, some prop bets for us. We got Ross Benjamin joining. He's going to look at college basketball as well. Cal Poly, UC Irvine, Kentucky versus Alabama, and Michigan versus Purdue. Andrew Babatiskis, I said it wrong, but he's joining us from the Westgate to talk some UFC. And we're going to end the show with the great Gianni The Greek. We got an amazing show lined up. If you guys have never watched this show before, please stay with us. Our goal is to make you money. We don't charge. We don't ask for anything. You listen to our thoughts. You listen to our bets. You listen to our picks. And you are going to make yourself some extra money for this weekend. I'm Lawrence Presman. You're watching Wager Talk Today. Ralph Michaels joining us right off the bat. Ralph, welcome to the show, my friend. Always love having you on, an anchor on our Friday show. How have you been doing?
Doing great, Prez. I want to correct you, a very small correction.
Of course you do.
We do ask our wonderful viewers for two things. Smash that like button and follow Wager Talk TV so you are alerted every time. That's a small ask for all the great free content we do, don't you think?
Yes, but where's my correction?
Well, you said we don't ask you for anything. We do ask you to smash the like button.
I will accept that. My bad, everybody. Please smash that like button. Or as one of our best listeners, Eric, says, make love to that like button. Missouri, Florida, let's get right into it. We got Florida at -9.5, and this is a really good team, 27-4 on the year, coming in 3 winning games in a row. One of them close, the game against Alabama, 5-point win, but this is a team that is putting up over 80 points almost every single night, a bunch of 90s. They almost got to 100 against Alabama. We've got a 162 on tap. They're playing a Missouri team that did win their last game, but they are 1-3 in their last 4 and reeling. Ralph, how do we attack this?
Well, you talk about that Florida offense. It's number 4 on the country. If you look at the metrics for the past 3 weeks, they're still a top 10, and they play very fast at number 50. Missouri, their numbers for the last 3 weeks, their offense is actually number 12, so very efficient. Their defense, though, is horrific. Number 215 out of the 360-plus college basketball teams. They play to a top 70 tempo as well. While I originally thought I might like Missouri here, there's one major issue keeping me off of it. Missouri did beat Mississippi State last night, 85-73, but their leading scorer, Mark Mitchell, got hurt in the first half. He sat out the rest of the first half. He sat out the second half, and we have no update on him. So to me, unless you know Mark Mitchell is going to go, it's either Florida or pass in this game. If you're watching the game or you have some updated Tigers information and Mitchell's going to go when he's 100% healthy, I would lean the Tigers. But Prez, for this show, I'm going to go Florida team total over 86.5. Now, you talked about their scoring efficiency, and this is a very high total, 162. When I went to the database, when you looked at conference tournament totals of 161 or higher, they have actually gone 15-6, 71.4%. So a very small sample size with this high of a total, but they have gone to the over. When you look at Florida in the 9 games when they had a total over 157, one game didn't go over. That was a 38-point favorite where they pulled all their subs. But in the other 7 games with a high total, they have topped 87 points in every game, and they have averaged 91.1 points per game. I think there's value with this. Florida team total over 86.5. Missouri with Gates will keep the tempo up. And a defense that's horrific. The Gators pull away again. Slight lean Missouri if Mitchell healthy. Lean Florida if he is out. And team total, best bet on the Florida Gators.
You're watching Wager Talk Today, everyone. Florida team total over 86. You want to make some money? Bet that play. Let's turn our attention to Arizona versus Texas Tech. Arizona 3-1 head-to-head matchup. They just beat KU 88-77. They covered the -3. The game went over. Texas Tech rolling 4 straight. A nail biter with Baylor. They were -6.5. They won by 2. That game went over as well. Here we have Texas Tech at -2.5, a total of 152.5. How are we attacking this one?
Well, you look at Texas Tech, and really they've played as well as anyone. Going back to January 14th, they have 3 losses. A loss to Arizona on the road, not a bad loss to a top 20 team. A loss to TCU on the road, that was their only bad loss in the stretch, going all the way back to January. And then they lost to Houston at home by 8. Again, Houston is the #1 seed, so nothing wrong with that. I do like Grant McCasland. He started at Arkansas State, went to North Texas. In 2022, he got him into the tournament. They won the play-in game. They lost to Virginia in overtime. The next year, they didn't make the tournament, but they actually won the NIT. So this is the second year now here at Texas Tech for McCasland. Last year, they lost to NC State. Now they're in their second season. They understand his defensive presence. They know how to play the offense, and they have a very efficient offense. When I look at the metrics for the last 3 weeks, Prez, Texas Tech is actually the #2 team in the country behind Duke. An offense that is top 5, a defense that is top 35. Arizona is the #35 team. 13 on offense, 162 on defense. And Texas Tech, you look at these 2 games, and there's certainly a correlated parlay on who you like. The first game when it was in Arizona, that score was 70-54. Arizona at home controlled the tempo and were able to get 20-plus fast break points. In the rematch, we see that they really, in the first at home for Texas Tech, they really bogged down the pace. The score was in the 124 total points. And with Arizona, you always have to worry on their point guard. I mean, for Caleb Love, he can be so good and he can be so bad. When he's playing a slower paced team, it seems that he struggles with his pace, struggles with his tempos, and turns the ball over more. I did not get to the window with this, Prez, but I have a clear lean with Texas Tech. The way they're playing, coach in the second season, the better offense, the better defense, with the top player in Arizona being very inconsistent. Red Raiders for me in the Big 12 matchup.
Ralph Michaels, what do you have going for the clients tonight?
Prez, I only have a couple plays in college basketball. I have a 1-play package that goes tonight if you're looking for a nightcap game. But I will say this, guys. Selection Sunday is coming up. If you downloaded my college tournament guide, hopefully it got you some winners this week. My March Madness guide will be up for free by Selection Sunday when they draw those names. By at 6 p.m. Sunday, head to WagerTalk.com. My shortcut, WT.buzz/RM. The free WagerTalk March Madness guide, you will be glad you downloaded. And I have an 85% system, Prez. I'm just going to share this real quick to give you some information of what will be in the guide. In round 1 of March Madness, if you have the 4 #1 seeds, the 4 #2 seeds, and the 4 #3 seeds, your top 12 teams, if they're a favorite with a low total, those teams have gone 17-3, 85% against the spread, Prez. So much more information like that in the free guide.
Ralph Michaels, one more game to talk about, Louisville versus Clemson. These 2 teams are absolutely rolling. Clemson 27-5 on the year, Louisville 26-6. Louisville hasn't lost a game in a long, long time, and Clemson has won 9 straight. Both of these teams are covering ATS as well. It's basically a pick 'em. Clemson -1.5, -120, and Louisville +1.5 at +112. Waj, one of our best listeners, is in the chat room every day. He likes Purdue on the money line, Maryland on the money line, and he also likes Clemson on the money line. Where are you going in this game?
Well, I am going to go, I lean Clemson, but I am going to go team total again here. I will say this. The teams are not as good as their records, Prez. The ACC is so down this year. When you look at the ACC's body of work, they only have 4 teams in the top 40 in defense. That is horrific. I mean, the Mountain West is probably better than the ACC if you took Duke out of the equation. So while they're both 18-2 in conference play, those records aren't as good. Clemson clearly has played better down the stretch. You don't know that because of the records, but if you look at the way Clemson has played versus their opponents, they come in as a quite a bit higher efficiency ranking, number 18 versus number 60 over the last few weeks. But I'm going to do this, Prez. I am going to go best bet UL team total under 70.5. The Clemson defense, the last 5 games they played, they held their opponents to 42%. In the last 12 games the Clemson Tigers have played, no team has topped 45% shooting. As I said, there's only 4 defenses in the ACC in the top 50. They are Duke, Wake Forest, and these 2 teams. But when you look at current performance, Clemson, year-to-date, is number 17 on defense. The last 3 weeks, they're also number 17. Louisville, year-to-date, number 23 on defense. Louisville's defense, the last 3 weeks, number 62. They've also slowed their tempo down quite a bit the last few weeks, and we have a Clemson team that's very slow tempo as well at number 275 down the stretch. UL did score 74 points versus Clemson in the first meeting, but that was at home where they can control the tempo. In this neutral setting, they won't be able to control the tempo. They had 65 points against Duke in their other top 50 matchup in the ACC. It's going to be a lower scoring game. Clemson holds Louisville to under 70.5 points.
There we go. What a segment. Ralph Michaels, absolutely outstanding. Best of luck this weekend, my friend. And guys, make sure to check out Ralph's college basketball guide. It's really, really outstanding, and he puts so much work and effort into it. Let's keep this show moving along. We've still got Andy Lang joining us, Ross Benjamin joining us, Andrew Babatikas from Westgate to talk some UFC. We're going to end the show with Gianni The Greek. And of course, if we do have time, I will go down every single NHL game on the board. We got a very interesting UFC parlay from Andy Lang. It's called a peaceful parlay. I'm assuming both guys will just lie in the middle of the mat and have a nap. And it'll then just go the distance. Is that basically the plan here?
That's it. Yes, this was your idea. It was a great idea because I did the violence parlay, and you said, "Do we have any peaceful parlays?" So I said, "Yes, we'll do a peaceful parlay." So let's take 2 fights that are not going to go the distance. We'll go to the main event. Vettori and Leeds. Marvin Vettori, Prez, 14 out of his last 15 fights have gone the distance. He is a decision machine. He doesn't finish guys, and he's got just a granite chin. This is a rematch. These guys have fought before. It went the distance. Delidze, he's got 1 finish in his last 4 fights, and that was because of his opponent had a hurt rib and quit after the first round. So I just don't think that we're gonna see a finish over 5 rounds. And then we'll go to the women's fight: Luciano and Sam Hughes. Sam Hughes, 7 out of her last 8 fights have gone the distance. Luciano, last 3 fights have gone the distance. And to be honest, neither of these women are power punchers or great submission artists. So I think we're getting a great price here at -130 on the UFC Peaceful Parlay today.
There we go. You should have had a violent parlay as well, Andy, just to, complain about something. Anyway, golf happening right now. Players Championship underway. You have a bet for us in round 2 on Shane Lowry. What is it, and when does he start?
He's going to start an hour and a half from now, so 1:40 p.m. Eastern time. I think he's going to have a really good round today. So he shot 72 yesterday, but we're going to take his under 70.5. I think he gets to -2 or lower. So, Prez, the morning wave, this is where Lowry played yesterday. Very tough conditions. The morning played way more difficult than the afternoon. And his stats were not that bad. He hit 11 out of 14 fairways, 13 out of 18 greens. The greens were very, very difficult to control the distance on, and they were tough to read putts. And yet he still shot even par in tough conditions. It's easier this afternoon, and I've been watching all morning. The morning guys are going really low. There's a -6, a -7 out there. The course is gettable. There's 4 par 5s. I look for Lowry to go under 70.5 on his round 2 score.
Andy Lang joining us, everyone. Andy, before we turn our attention, I don't see any stats. So 2 days ago, you were 10-1 in your last 11. Yesterday, you were on a 13-2 all sports run, which is outstanding. Am I to assume you had a losing night because you didn't put anything in the Slack channel today?
Oh, sorry. No, we had 4 darts plays. We went 2-2. We gained a half a unit of profit. We had no plays last night. So not a ton has changed. 34-10 all sports run. How does that sound? Plus 63 units, 2025, running great. 30-10 NBA or 32-10 NBA run. So absolutely no complaints. Myself, very happy. Clients, very happy. Bankroll, very happy. So life is pretty good these days.
There we go, Andy Lang. We got a prop bet on Superman Wear. What is it?
Yes.
See,
All right,
nice
we'll
reference, huh? Nice reference. I know Superman's real. I know Superman's real name on Krypton. I used to hang out on Krypton with him.
Oh yeah, what's the dining scene out there at Krypton?
I don't know. I'm normally like deep into an acid mushroom or ayahuasca trip when hanging out on Krypton with Kal-El.
Yeah, it's probably the only good thing you can do there. That and play frisbee golf. Let's take Khalil Ware under half a made 3. So we're just going to take him to not make a 3. Move over Contavious Caldwell-Pope. There's a new worst 3-point shooter right now. Prez, he's gone 14 out of 15 games.
Did you win yesterday's KCP?
No, he made 2. So we're off of the KCP. Hey, we made a lot of money fading him. So when the streak is over, you just kind of let it die, and we move on to the next one. This guy's gone 14 out of 15 games without making a 3. He is 2 for 22 in those 15 games. And last game, he only played 18 minutes, and he didn't even attempt a 3-point shot. There's a Miami Heat team that's not playing very well. So he is absolutely ice cold from 3. So we'll take him to not make a 3-pointer tonight.
There we go. Andy Lang. You've promoted, you've given away all your plays. You've got a peaceful parlay we spoke about. Sean Alvarez says, Prez, what was your nickname on Krypton? Sean, it wasn't very catchy, and I did not name myself that, but it was the
Lord
greatest
Dude?
of all time.
Was that Lord Dude, or was
No,
that
it was
one
just
of your other students?
They don't even use acronyms there. It was literally the greatest of all time. And I was like, guys, that is way too long. Like, what kind of terrible nickname is that? Can't we just go with GOAT? And they're like, I don't even know what a GOAT is. And I'm like, I get it. Greatest of all time it is. So there you go, Andy. What else? Are we done? Are we good?
Yeah, it's the last day for the 365-day special, though. So if you're looking for long-term, if you're looking for something other than just tonight's plays, 365 days gets marked down to $99 a month. We're already 63 units up this year, 127 units up 2024, 93 units up in 2023. This is all about building bankrolls. That's what we do. Do it for ourselves. These are all plays that we play with our own money, and we are red hot. So take advantage of that last day to get 365 days marked down to $99 a month.
Andy Lang, while you're here, Johnny Detroit yesterday said, I want to see a picture of the Prez when he was Mr. Cool. So I think I was in grade 11 or 10. I was probably in grade 10. But there you go. I'm literally I think I'm doing crazy legs or about to do like a swipe, one of those swipes. So there's Mr. Cool, everybody. There you go. Mr. Cool in the house. It's been a long time.
I got to tell you, that is cool. Like, that is everything I wanted the photo to be. It is Mr. Cool. That you can't improve on that photo. That's just perfection, man. That's well done.
Well, if it was, that's on stage. It would have been cooler if it was in my basement so you could see all the cardboard lined up for the head spins and back spins, etc. Anyway,
Love it. Love it.
Mr. Cool signing off. Andy Lang, everyone, get out of here. Ross Benjamin.
I know.
Joining
I know what
us.
I'm going.
Yeah?
I know what I'm going for. I know what I'm going for for Halloween next year.
Mr. Cool.
This year, it's going to be Mr. Cool. It's going to be the most obscure Halloween costume ever. Nobody will recognize me except you, and that's good enough for me. All right. Good luck. Have a great weekend, everyone.
Dan, before we bring Ross in, can you just check that he's happy with his hair? I know he's spending a lot of time fixing it again, looking at the camera. Do you want to fix it live on air? Let's do a hair fix session, Ross. What do you say? There we go. You a Buffalo Bills fan?
Absolutely, man. Are you kidding me? I'm from Rochester, New York.
Well, how the hell am I supposed to know that? That's home
Because
of
I told you about a million times, you got a great talking skill, but not really good when it comes to listening, Prez. Your wife told you that too, right? A couple times in your life.
Everybody tells me that, Ross, and you know how much I care? I don't
I
at
know
all.
You don't care. Hey, that picture of you when you're younger, you look like Kramer from Seinfeld on acid. Holy cow.
Well, that's okay. Listen, I had good hair when I was young, but the great thing about it is I have good hair now, too. I don't remember those glasses at all, and that leather jacket was not mine. I borrowed it from somebody. But the best part of that picture, honestly, is the shoes and socks. You can't fully see it. But you remember those shoes where you stuck like a penny in the middle? Like they were like penny loafers was the term? Yeah, that's what those ones were. Penny loafers. Anyway.
Did you have a penny inserted on those penny loafers? Okay.
No.
You weren't that cool though.
No, I had a dime, dude. Come on.
Okay.
I'm Mr. Cool. I'm Mr. Cool, bro. Come on.
You certainly are, man. You certainly are.
Anyway, let's get, should we get into some actionable information? Let's start with Cal Poly Slow and UC Irvine. You like the over in this game. Shoot out. 158.5. Tell us why.
Yeah. Well, Cal Poly is a team that started 7-10 in conference play. They reeled off 5 wins in a row. And not only that, and they shot 51% during that 5-game run, 46% from beyond the 3-point line, and 82% from the free throw line. Actually, over their last 7 games, Cal Poly's averaging 90.1 points per game and shooting 50% from the field. They're number 1 in the Big West, action, I should say, when it comes to playing a fast offensive tempo. So they play at the highest tempo offensively of any team during Big West Conference play, to clarify that. They're 11-4 over the total this year in away or neutral site games when the total's between 150 and 159.5. Irvine's not too bad himself offensively, Prez. Over the last 5, averaging 81 points per game, shooting 51% from the field, and an extremely superb 82.4% from the free throw line. Irvine, again, in that parameter that I just mentioned with Cal Poly, between 150 and 159.5. If it's an away or neutral site game like today is, they've gone 4-0 to the over this year within that parameter. And also 2 games versus Cal Poly this year. They won 98-89 and 101-71. So those were 2 high-scoring games. This total only 158.5. Usually I would say that this is a trap, but I just can't go there the way both of these teams are shooting the ball and scoring. 57 free throw attempts in those 2 games for Cal Poly. They hit 91% of those. Just unfathomable. And, I don't see them hitting 90% of their free throws again today, but they do shoot over 80% for the season, Prez, and I do see their free throw attempts to be right up there again. I'm going to go Cal Poly, UC Irvine over 158.5.
Wonderful stuff. We've got Ross Benjamin joining us. We got 2 more games to go through, both college basketball. The next one is Kentucky and Alabama. And Ross, this is a big total, 179.5. I mean, I get it. Look, two games ago, we had a 102.97. Last game, February 22nd, 96.83. Clearly, these teams are scoring a lot. Kentucky, 85, 91, 95. Alabama, 93, 94. They put up a 111 recently. What are you going to do in this matchup?
Well, I'm going to go against what conventional thinking might perceive this to be. I mean, you mentioned those two high-scoring games during regular season action, and certainly this total is justified, as you pretty much indicated, Prez. And the totals in those two games were 181 and 179.5, so it's not like they've moved this considerably, meaning the total, because of those high-scoring affairs. You know, it's in my mind, you got a total this high. You're in a tournament environment on a neutral floor. I'm confident it will still be a high-scoring game, but not to the point where it's going to exceed 180 points or more. First two meetings, these teams went a combined 82 for 101 from the free throw line, 81%. That ain't happening tonight. Why am I so confident about that, Prez? Simply put, Kentucky is only 74.2% from the free throw line on the season, and Alabama 72%. So these teams shot way over their head from the free throw line, and there was a plethora of free throws in those two games. I think we'll still see a very physical game with a lot of free throws. I think it'd be more along the lines of the low 70s to maybe mid 70s when it comes to free throw percentage tonight, based on these teams' season figures. You know, Prez, we've been doing this a long time, me and you, and when a total's this high in a tournament game on a neutral floor, all it takes is a 3 to 4 minute offensive lull that pretty much kills the over. And that's not out of the question in this game tonight. I am going to go against conventional wisdom here, and I'm going Kentucky and Bama under the total of 179.5.
You're going against conventional wisdom in the Michigan at Purdue game. Michigan at +3, now +2.5. They're taking money. This Michigan team lost 3 in a row against Michigan State, Maryland, and Illinois. None of those games were close. I mean, Maryland was close, 71-65. They're playing a Purdue team that just beat USC by 5. How are you attacking this game?
Yeah, I'm glad you brought that up, how they struggled at the end of the regular season, because Purdue did play yesterday. They were, less than impressive in a 76-71 win over USC, a game they never led by more than 6 points. But I think Purdue playing in their second tournament game versus a Michigan team that had a bye yesterday is going to serve Purdue well, because a team like Michigan coming into their first tournament game against a team that's already played a tournament game and they struggled down the stretch, I think they're going to be a little bit tight in this situation. The Wolverines, by the way, 0-4 against the spread and 1-3 straight up in their last 4 games. Their only win in that sequence was by 2 against a Rutgers team that leaves a lot to be desired, and they didn't come close to covering that game as a 10-point favorite. Michigan really struggles over their last 5 games offensively, just 66 points per game, 42% shooting, and an abysmal 22% from beyond the three-point line. With Purdue, over their last 5 games, 78 points scored per game, 50% shooting, and a terrific 43.5% from beyond the three-point arc. In the USC win yesterday, they shot 39% from 3. Purdue during Big Ten play is number 1 in offensive efficiency, number 1 in three-point shooting. I just think this is a good spot for the Boilermakers. If they're I had -3, but if they're down at 2.5, certainly take the 2.5. It's more to our advantage. As a matter of fact, at 2.5, I would entertain using the money line as well. Prez in this game, I would prefer to use the money line rather than lay 2.5. So Purdue either -3, or if you can get 2.5 and a lower a money line of maybe 145 or less, I would use the money line with Purdue here against Michigan.
Ross Benjamin, everyone. Guys, there's 190 of you in the chat room and 36 likes. Offhand, 30%, that's 15%. What? Ross, are you hating on the show? Like, am I doing a bad job? Like, did you hate Andy Lang? Like, what is going on here, guys? Like, I'm a little
I'm telling
baffled.
you,
I
mean,
don't even know if we should continue, frankly.
you know what, Prez? On a positive note, anywhere be 10% or over is very good in terms of like on YouTube.
Screw that.
Yeah,
Screw
but
that,
I know
dude.
you have higher standards, so yeah.
Higher standards. I can name more than 36 people in the chat room. There's like at least 50 regulars in the chat room that have.
You know, here's the thing. You know, folks, hit that like button. It's just a small token of the appreciation of the work, time, and effort we put in. Prez does this 5 days a week, puts a lot of prep time into this, and I think he does a great job. I'm sure you would agree, folks. So hit that like button.
Thank you, Ross. What do you got to promote?
All you need to go is to my personal link, wt.buzz/RB over at WagerTalk, and got some great streaks going on right now. 6-3 the last 2 days in college basketball. Don't forget, you can get the rest of the college basketball season right through the NCAA tournament championship game for just $179. Take advantage of that. 9-4 run in the NHL since March 4th. And then NBA, you know, there's 3 months still left in the NBA season when you count the playoffs and NBA finals. So, folks, 115-78 since February 23rd of last year in the NBA. That's a 60% win rate, $7,906 or 79 units, whatever way you want to put it, as a net profit. That's number one in money earned during that course of time at WagerTalk in the NBA. Number two in win percentage during that course of time in the NBA. Also 44-26 run this season as we speak in the NBA, good for 63%. So a lot to like what's going on with myself over at WagerTalk, 44-29 all sports run as well since February 22nd. So WT.buzz/RB, take advantage of the great offers we have there right now.
There we go. Ross Benjamin, everyone. We still got 2 guests to go. Real quick, we got a great show for you guys, 6:30 p.m. Eastern time on Sunday. It's our Sunday selection show. This is hosted by Brian Power and Mark Zeno. There'll be more people joining as well. Trigger, Merrill, Rob Vino. It'll be a really great show. You can find it right here at this channel, WagerTalk TV. It is our Sunday selection show. Please make sure to check that out. Andrew Babakatis joining us from the Westgate, a UFC expert. How are you, my brother? Nice to see you again.
I'm well, man. It's a good time to be at the sportsbook with March Madness coming around. Kind of a dumpster fire UFC card this week, but, you know, I'm still looking forward to it.
Well, let's get into it. Let's start right now with who do the books need? Where's your liability?
Yeah, so I'd say I tend to prefer to book these kind of cards where it's kind of a lot of unknowns, but this card has a lot of favorites. So 7 of the 13 fights are over $4 favorites, which we're definitely going to need a dog or two to come through for the book. I'll go up to the main 5 fights, starting with the Ryan Spann fight. Ryan Spann's moving up to heavyweight. We did take some early large action on Ryan Spann at plus 170. The price is kind of shot down on that as we took some action on that. On the Kurt Holloway fight versus Alexander Hernandez, we did take a couple of large wagers early on Alex Hernandez, minus 175. That line has moved all the way to 210. In your co-main event, you're looking at Dos Santos or Zaleski versus Chitty. We did take a large bet on Chitty early at plus 160. The price has moved against the dog. The favorite has kind of juiced out. It's over $2 now. It opened minus 160, and it's currently sitting minus 210. So there's some steam in that direction. A lot of the favorites steam in this week. And in the main event, that's another one where Marvin Vettori is fighting Roman Dolidze. It's a rematch. We opened the price up at minus 125 on Vettori. It's currently sitting minus 165. So I'm sure that indicates that there's some sharp money in the marketplace. Not much here, but that's kind of a big move on that main event for sure.
Excellent stuff. Now, the most important question, who do you like?
Yeah, I mean, out of those ones, I would definitely say I'm leaning on the Vettori side for sure. I don't really love the Hernandez plays. I'm kind of comfortable needing Holloway for a little bit in that fight. Nothing crazy, but yeah, like I said, I'm rooting for some dogs this week. There's a ton of favorites on this card, so yeah, we're gonna need a couple of dogs for sure.
What else is going on over at the Westgate? Are there any promos on the UFC card? Anything else that we need to discuss?
Nothing for this card. Obviously, we're going to be doing a lot of stuff for the March Madness coming up this week. We're getting up some exactas for some of these other sports. I put up the NFL exacta already for next season. The NBA exacta is going up today for the remaining teams that are in the playoff push. But other than that, yeah, man, mainly focused on March Madness over here.
Brilliant. Wonderful. I love having you on, Andrew. Quick, informative, to the point. Excellent, excellent work. We'll see you again next Friday, hopefully.
Absolutely. I'd love to be here.
Brilliant stuff. Andrew Babinicus, you can find him at the Westgate. We still have Gianni the Greek to come. Nick from NYC wants to know, Prez, how much do you bench press? He does 285. Yeah, there's nothing I do that's 285. Zero. I can't even think of. I couldn't move 285. I could probably bench press 185, but who cares? I'm 56 years old. I haven't done a personal best in weights in maybe 35 years. Anyway, let's go down the NHL board, top to bottom, and then we'll bring in the great Gianni the Greek. Carolina, they're minus 250 against the Detroit Red Wings. And man, this Detroit team is in dire need of a run. They did finally get off the snide after losing 6 straight. They beat Buffalo 7-3. And yeah, okay, that's a win, but not much of an accomplishment. With that said, I kind of like them tonight at plus 230. This is one of those angles where you had a team that lost 6 straight and then they won one. And it's like, I get it. Carolina's one of the best teams in all of hockey. I understand. They've also beat Detroit 5 in a row, but they've won 5 games in a row. They're due for a loss. Detroit is due for a little bit of a winning streak. And I think Carolina might overlook this Detroit team at plus 220, 230. There's a lot of value on the Detroit Red Wings. I love Edmonton tonight against the New York Islanders, guys. This Edmonton team has lost 2 straight, but they outshot both of their opponents, and they dominated the game last night against the New York Islanders. This is a team that's been reeling literally since the Four Nations Cup. They're playing a bad New York Islanders team who can't get out of their own way. I think Edmonton gets it done, and I love the under in Winnipeg and Dallas. Look to take Winnipeg under moving forward from now on. I understand Dallas is an over team right now, but this is going to be a tight checking, high intensity hockey game. Colorado in regulation. I think Calgary is a bet against team moving forward. I know that's a big number, but I think Colorado gets it done. I like the over in the Nashville-Anaheim game. We were on the over in the Anaheim-Utah game a few nights ago, and we did lose that. But I think we're going to see Anaheim put up some points tonight. And Nashville is scoring finally. Hallelujah. They put up 3, 3, 5, and 6. This is a 6 on tap. I like over the total. And in the Utah-San Jose game, Seattle game, I like Utah in regulation. I would not take them minus 150. I think the value is in regulation. That's it for every game on the board. I do have one client play up tonight for you guys. I gave out 3 college basketball plays on the show yesterday. I went 1-1-1, and the push was an epic disaster. Epic. Up by 5, 1 second to go. 60-foot three-pointer off the board. And that's how I pushed. And most of you probably lost. That's how my college hoop season has gone. Gianni The Greek joining us. Gianni, your lover is in the chat room, block bed or blah, blah, blah. That guy is, here we go. Gianni the GOAT. How can I become Gianni? How can he become Gianni? Well, first you have to be in an unhappy marriage. Then you have to find a very awesome woman who will take care of your needs. Then you have to become friends with me, become great friends with Johnny Detroit, join Wager Talk, look as handsome as him, brush your teeth 62 times a day, snort cocaine, literally from morning to night. What am I missing?
It's fun. You nailed it. You get arrive in Vegas with $600 and never having been here, nobody waiting for you. That helps too. That helps too.
A colorful, beautiful life, my friend. Nice to see you. Okay. Guys, what I'm going to do, because Gianni, we don't explain what's going on. Rumor, Johnny Detroit. Rumor is Crackman will be on Monday to share March Madness betting tips.
Love that guy.
Are you kidding? Okay, I obviously know all this, but and I'm trying to feign that I don't. But come on, Wager Talk getting stronger by the day. Anyway. So, guys, if you've never watched a Gianni segment before, you're probably confused. He pulls out a sheet of paper and reads a bunch of games. And you don't know what does he like those games? Is he betting those games? Why a piece of paper and not his computer, et cetera, et cetera. The bottom line is Gianni moves money for massive syndicates all over. And this segment, and I'm going to explain the segment more regularly because I thought about it, Gianni. Nobody has a clue what you're doing. So why don't you explain what we do on this segment, and then let's get into some hoops.
Okay, it's very simple. When I came here, hanging out at the Stardust, I became a runner. What a runner is someone that places bets for betting syndicates, wise guys that win long term. Make a long story short, eventually offshore opened up and everybody started doing it that way because you could get a lot more money down offshore by clicking your mouse than having someone like me running up and down the strip, okay? So everything went offshore, more syndicates blew up. Eventually, I started working with more of those kind of guys who no longer needed me to go to the window and bet here in Vegas, because if we bet in Vegas, those books are all on the screen. They're going to move the lines for everyone, and then we could get no more money down. So they came up with the idea of finding accounts from bookmakers. So my job was to find betting accounts with credit that I could hand off to them, and they could bet, log in, put the password, attach their bots to it, and fire away. That's when I was down on the food chain. Eventually, I acquired enough of these type of books where it became more advantageous for me to hand bet these than hand them over. So what happens now is I'm part of different instant messaging groups. This guy does NBA, this does college basketball, this group does tennis, what have you. And my job is when they fire a play on that board for me to log into the books that I have access to and bet. I can't move on any of the on-screen books unless they want us to manipulate a line. Like I have some accounts that are on screen and they'll say, bet this on screen. That means they're just manipulating a line. So because I know they're going to win long-term and I have a bankroll, I take a percentage of each of these accounts. So every bet that I share with you, I already placed for one of these groups and I have a percentage of the account. So I want them to win. Now, obviously, I can't release all these to subscribers because these guys bet upwards of, on a Saturday, 40 plus bets, okay? It's hard for any recreational bettor or even serious bettor to keep up with that unless that's your only job. So then what I do is I narrow down the ones that I already had an opinion on myself and still think there's line value there for subscribers. For example, yesterday I came on, I gave a bunch of plays, but I only released 3 of them to my subscribers. It was a good night. Turned out profitable for us. That's what I do. I bet for winning groups, winning bettors that are specialists in different sports, and I share that information with you guys. You shouldn't bet this blindly. What you should do is take the information and use it like I do for my subscribers. If you agree with it and you think there's still line value, fire. If you disagree with it, more times than not, you're going to get a better line than us, but be cautious fading it because there's very few people that actually win long term. You could be opposite them occasionally, but you don't want to be opposite them all the time. It's pretty simple. That's it. Couldn't put it more easier than that.
We got a couple of minutes with Gianni, brother. Race through some bets for us for tonight.
All right. Here's what we've been betting all day. Let me give you some NBA real quick as well. 5-11 over 230, 1.5, Indiana and Philadelphia. And then 214 under 216, 215.5, 215 Boston and Miami. Some college basketball for you. 869, forgive me. Boise State +2 and money line. 842 under 165.5 Toledo Akron. 810 George Mason -2.5. 867 over 157 Cal Poly UC Irvine. 812 under 143.5 St. Joe's and Dayton. 862 Utah Valley -2.5. And here's a Southwest Athletic Conference play as well. 306 524 under 143.5 in Bethune Cookman. And a prop for you prop lovers out there in the Texas-Tennessee game. We bet Jordan Pope to go under 1.5 3-point field goals, under 1.5 3-point field goals, good up to -150. Now, I placed about 15 more bets than what I just shared, but I don't want to overwhelm you with the volume. Come on over to the Steam Room. That goes off at 1:30 p.m. Eastern. I'm going to go through each and every college basketball game. I'm going to go through the NBA. We're going to even take a peek at the NHL. And more importantly, we're also going to cover the UFC and prepare for Tuesday's first class in the Blackjack Seminar. So a lot going on in the Steam Room today.
Brilliant. So you're doing a live Steam Room in 45 minutes.
Yeah, wanted to do it during conference tournament time so we could prep for what's coming on March Madness, because I'm going to have some live rooms in March Madness because there's so much second half information during that time. I want my subscribers to be able to access it. And more importantly, like I always say, that my favorite part of the Steam Room is accountability. I come in every week, we go over the last 7-day results, and we go over year-to-date results and long-term results. It keeps me accountable for the information I am releasing, and I'm open to all questions. I work for my subscribers, so I'm in there for about 2 hours working for them where they could ask me anything they want. I take nothing personal. No one else can see your questions, so you don't have to be shy about asking absolutely anything. I don't call anybody out. And, there's a lot of new bettors that we take for granted some of the things that, we may think everybody knows, but not everybody knows. So I help with that. And finally, I help brush those demons off our shoulders that we all face every day. Not to chase when we have a bad day, not to go crazy and try to double up when we have a great day, not to take bad numbers, all those things that, even a seasoned bettor, don't you face it, Prez? Like you get a bad beat and you're pissed and you just want to get that money back so fast. Like you have to fight that, and you get better at it the longer you do it. But I still find myself making mistakes, man. I'm done this 30 years. I do it every day with high level people. And yet I still make mistakes that cost me money all the time. I try to correct, not repeat. That's my motto. Correct, not repeat. The better you are at correcting and not repeating, the quicker your success is going to come. It took me a while to do that, though.
There we go. Gianni The Greek. What a show, everybody. The week is over. We will see you all next Monday, noon Eastern time. On behalf of Ralph, Ross, Andrew, Andy, Gianni, Dan, myself, thank you for watching. Let's all win. We'll see you Monday.